So the first question. Under the Indian Constitution, concentration of wealth violates the directive principles of state policy. It is under which article? 39C, which says concentration of wealth and means of protection. Clear? Next. What is the position of the right to property in India? It is a legal right available to any person, not only to citizens but also to any persons. Okay. Next. Other than the fundamental rights, which of the following parts of the Constitution of India reflects the principles and provisions of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? Have you ever seen what is that UDHR? பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா? See, these are the infographics for the UDHR, which says, see, though it is not deliberately given as liberty, equality, or something, when you read these things, you will be able to identify all these things are in preamble, fundamental rights, as well as in DPSP. We are all equal before the law and are entitled to equal protection of the law. Here, you have the right to own property. Everyone has the right to belong to a religion. Just read it once, because UPSC has the tendency already from 2 times a question has been asked from this UDHR. So you must be knowing like what are the things available in this Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Just read it once, not more than that. Just read it once. Okay. The fourth question. In India, separation of judiciary from the executive is enjoined by Directive Principles of State Policy. Which article? Yes. Separation of judiciary from executive. Article 50. Fifth question. With reference to the provisions contained in the Part 4 of the Constitution of India, which of the following statements are correct? They shall be enforceable by courts. Is DPSP enforceable? No. They shall not be enforceable by any court. Yes, it is true. The principles laid down in this part are to influence the making of laws by the state. Yes, I hope there is no doubt in this. Clear. So the first statement is wrong. The answer is 2 and 3. Next, sixth question. The Constitution of India defines its basic structure in terms of federalism, secularism, fundamental rights, and democracy. Is anywhere that is a term declared as basic structure in the Constitution? No. See, when you read such things, read it carefully. Constitution of India defines. No, it is not defined anywhere. Next, the Constitution of India provides for judicial review to safeguard the citizens' liberty and to preserve the ideals on which the Constitution is based. See, judicial review as such a wording is not in the Constitution. We interpret it as like that, and it is also not given explicitly. It implicitly means that judicial review is part of our basic structure, but it is not given in the Constitution. Clear? So the statement is wrong. Okay, the Constitution of India doesn't provide for that. It is an implicit one. Though the statement kind of looks vague, but this is how it is. When you read it, it doesn't specify something like that. Clear? The next one. Which part of the Constitution of India declares the ideal of welfare state? This is a straight QIQ. See, some questions will be very simple. You just need to read it and answer, nothing else. Okay. So this is Directive Principles of State Policy. Which principle among the following was added to the directive principles of state policy by the 42nd Amendment to the Constitution? See, in this bad constitution, right? See, the question is by 42nd Amendment Act, right? So this one 48A, that is a protection of environment and forest and wildlife, that was also added. Then the children given opportunities in a healthy manner, that was also added. Then the best one. So this, where is it? Can anyone see? Participation of workers in the management of industries. Okay. With respect to 42nd Act, all these things were included. So participation of workers in management of industries, then provision for early childhood care and education. I'm sorry, not that one. This one, 48A, protection and improvement of environment and safeguarding of forest and wildlife. That was also introduced. This 86th amendment is with respect to right to education. Okay. The next one. Consider the following statements with reference to the Constitution of India. The directive principles of state policy constitute limitations upon whether the directive principles of state policy constitutes limitations upon anything. But who keeps limitations upon? Fundamental rights keeps limitations, whereas DPSP, do they provide any kind of limitations? No. So that's it. Next, consider the following statements regarding the directive principles of state policy. The principles spell out the socio-economic democracy in the country. Yes, the political democracy is enshrined in fundamental rights, whereas the social and political thing is social and economic rights is mentioned in DPSP. The provisions contained in these principles are not enforceable by any court. Yes, already we saw in one question. Next, the 11th one. The ideal of welfare state in the Indian Constitution is enshrined in its sixth question. And sorry, seventh question is was also the same thing. Because these two questions, it is a previous year question. And there are also chances of getting repetition. Okay. Next, 12th one. In the Constitution of India, promotion of international peace and security is included in the where it is given. Okay. Then economic justice, the objectives of Constitution has been as one of the Indian as one is provided in economic justice. In preamble as well as in DPSP. In preamble, we see right justice for social, economic, and political. And with respect to DPSP, both social justice and economic justice is ensured through DPSP. Then the 14th question. The Constitution, 71st Amendment Act 1992 amends the 8th schedule to the Constitution to include which of the following languages? Sorry. When was Maitri added? When was Maitri added? 92. Okay. See, 71st Amendment Act added this Kongani, Manipuri and Nepali, whereas this Maithili language was added through 92nd Constitutional Amendment Act. And whether English is one of the official languages? Whether it comes under schedule, 8th schedule. Okay. Sahitya Academy is given for which languages? I asked this question once. And I also told the answer then. And right now you are all blinking. Okay, for how many languages Sahitya Academy is given? 24. What are the languages? Yes, it is 22 official, that is scheduled languages, and Rajasthani and English, which means Rajasthani is not in the scheduled language. It's not in the 8th schedule. ஞாபகம் அதை நான் சொல்லணும், நான் கிளாஸ்ல இதை சொன்னேன் அப்படின்னு அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் ஞாபகம் வரும். Next, the 15th one. After Article 368 of the Constitution of India, the Parliament may amend any provision of the Constitution by way of. In the question, variation is just altering the wordings. That is what is variation. Addition is adding a new article. Variation is like adding, not adding, but changing or altering the statement. And repeal is like omitting that particular article itself. These are the three ways in which Article 368 can be used. Okay. Next, 16th question. The harmony and balance between the fundamental rights and DPSP is an essential feature of the basic structure of the Constitution. Yes. In which case it was told? It is like the two wheels of the chariot. In our normals. The Parliament has the power to amend the fundamental rights for implementing the directive principles. Yes, it can be done. Already we have amended the Constitution mainly for the purpose of bringing like enforcing DPSP. In which article we have done that? No, I didn't ask like that. See, this was declared as unconstitutional. 31. I'm sorry, wait a minute. See this one, third one, by the 24th one. Saving of laws giving effect to certain directive principles, notwithstanding anything contained in Article 30, no law giving effect to the policy of the state towards securing shall be deemed to be void on the ground that it is inconsistent with or takes away or bridges any of the rights conferred. Yes, and see, in one case, Supreme Court told that we cannot like abridge any of fundamental rights. Then they told it is subjected to judicial review. This thing was like said. So Parliament can amend fundamental rights. Yes, and mainly for DPSP, read the statements very plainly. Don't go into the intricacies. Okay. Yeah, we have already amended it. Yes or no? Then it has been already done. Simple. Just keep it like that. Don't go into details. Okay. Yesterday also we saw like 2-3 questions. The answer was given as wrong, but this one, yes, it can be amended. Okay, the 17th question. With respect to directive principles of state policy, consider the following statements. They seek to establish social and economic democracy, saying these are the constitutional instructions given to the state, but only in the legislative matters. Is that so? It is in legislative, executive, and administrative. All the three it is given. Okay. So the second one is wrong. And the third one, they are not automatically enforced and require legislation for the implementation. Yes. So the answer is 1 and 3. Then the 18th question. To secure opportunities for the healthy development of children, to minimize inequalities in income, status, facilities, and opportunities, to promote voluntary formation, autonomous functioning, democratic control, and professional management of cooperative societies, to provide early childhood care and education for all children until they complete the age of 6 years. So in this, which was added through the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act? First one. The second one was added through 44th Amendment Act. The third one? 97, the cooperative societies especially. And the fourth one? 86, the right to education. When they added, yesterday we talked about that. Three things have been done in fundamental duties, fundamental rights, as well as in DPSP. That is the 86th one. Next, 91. Which of the following provisions reflects the socialistic principles of the DPSP? Has the Constitution specified that this is a socialistic principle, liberal? No. It is like for our easy understanding, we have split it up. Okay. Now, which one is the socialistic principle? What is the answer? Where do you see the D1 in DPSP? In which article? No, in which article do you see? But in this, the most appropriate one is actually the C. See, participation of workers, socialist is about that, right? There should be no class difference and all those things. The most appropriate one for this would be C. That is what I would say. When seeing all the things, this one holds true, holds best. Okay. Okay, now the 20th question. Which among the following is the valid reason for the non-justiciable and non-enforceable nature of directive principles? What is the reason? See, in Constituent Assembly itself, they have told the reason for keeping DPSP and maintaining it as non-enforceable and non-justiciable. The simple reason being that we did not have that required resources to provide all these things in the fundamental rights. Okay. The next one is the 21st question. To secure for all citizens a uniform civil code throughout the country, to organize agriculture and animal husbandry on modern and scientific lines, to separate the judiciary from the executive in the public services of the state. Which of the above are considered liberal principles? All will come. Yeah, second statement omit panninga. Why did you? Animal husbandry, agriculture. So it is Gandhian principle. But அதுக்கப்புறம் ஒரு line இருக்குல்ல modern and scientific lines. Yes or no? Cottage industries and all those things were set by Gandhian principles. Whereas this one is with respect to modern and scientific lines. This comes under this liberal principles. Okay. The 22nd question. The Constitution of India defines its basic structure in terms of federalism. Same thing. Then Constitution of India has a provision. So this one, neither one nor two. Although it is a repetitive question. Then 23rd, consider the following structures regarding this doctrine of basic structure. The Parliament's constituent power is limited in the sense that it can amend limited things. It is a concept that is completely unique to India, given by the Supreme Court of India. So it is given by Supreme Court, whether it is only with respect to India. See, it is given in India, that is okay. Whether can you tell with certainty that it is only unique to India that we have this basic structure? Can you tell with certainty? Have you read all the constitutions of the world? And certain countries don't even have constitutions, but they have certain other things, right? So we are not sure of like what is the basic structure. But though the word it was given by the Supreme Court, it is not only unique to India. Okay. So the answer for that is 1. And the Parliament's constituent power is limited. Yes, it cannot amend anything, but because it shouldn't amend that basic structure of the Constitution, which means it is the limited. The Parliament has only limited powers. Then the 24th question. The doctrine of the basic structure in the context of Indian Constitution applies to when this doctrine of basic structure will come into place. When the Constitution is being amended and when it is going for this judicial review, there the Supreme Court will tell that it is violating the basic structure of the Constitution. Whereas in ordinary legislations, have it ever been gone there? No, right? But both of answer kudtavana yaru? The constitutional validity is checked in which one? Constitutional amendments. Okay, clear? Then the 25th question. In which of the following cases did the Supreme Court of India pronounce the doctrine of basic structure for the first time? It is Keshan and the Bharti case. Okay. Then which of the following elements form a part of basic structure of the Constitution as laid down by various court judgments? What is the answer? 1, 2, 1, 2, and 4. Okay. Okay, now I'll show you something. Then you tell me. Hello? Anyone is here? Are you receiving it? 1, 2, 3. The actual answer, this one is a recent one, but that is a like a previous year question, I think. And this happened in November 27, 2022. Where in the case, this case, right? Case name. So you can check this case where it is, but this is what came, okay? And the court dismissed the pleas and held that socialism and secularism are integral to the basic structure. They wanted to remove socialist and secular from the preamble, which was added by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment. And a case was filed. For that, the court dismissed it, saying that both are fundamental. That is basic structure of the Constitution. Okay. So in this three, if you only you have to choose only 3 options. So well pronounced one is answer is D. But in the recent current affairs, it also says that socialism is also a part of the basic structure. I just wanted to show you that because already you have been fixed that it is not, but the court has already ruled that it is a basic structure of the Constitution. Okay. Next, the 27th case, 27th one. In which of the following cases the Supreme Court held that the doctrine of basic structure would apply to constitutional amendments after April 24, 1973? Everyone knows that? See, in Keshan and the Bharti case, it would be told that there is something known as basic structure of the Constitution, and the Parliament can amend anything but not the basic structure. Yes. But it doesn't pronounce in such a way that it would be applied to any other things after following 24th April 1973. So this Warman case happened in 1981. There they pronounced that this basic structure will be applied continuously after 1973. In that case only, this applicability came into being. Clear? So just know this case because everyone knows about Keshav and Tabati case, but no one knows about this. Okay, Vaman Rao. Next, this one, consider the following pairs. First Amendment Act 1951. Whether the First Amendment Act made the right to property a legal right and not a fundamental right? Which amendment does that? Okay, the 52nd Amendment Act 1985. A member disqualified for defection cannot be a minister. Hold it. 77th Amendment Act 1995 provided reservation in promotion to SCs and STs. Okay, hold it. 91st Amendment Act 2003. That is correct, right? Because it stimulated the upper limit for the ministers to be both in central and the state. What is that limit? 15%. Now, go to the second one. It says a member disqualified for defection cannot be a minister. It cannot be not even a member itself. Member of parliament, he will be disqualified to become a MP or a MLA in that period. Yes or no? Not only minister. Minister remove from the member of the parliament or the member of the legislative assembly, it will be removed. Don't overlook. All minister they cannot be a minister. They cannot be a MP or MLA itself. Enough? I don't know what to say. Okay. Then the 77th Amendment Act provided reservation in promotions to SCs and STs. Second one, right? Fundamental rights promotion is also given in case of SCs and STs. Promotion leave may on the reservation underline and it was given in the 77th Amendment Act. Clear? So the answer for this is actually 3 and 4. If they have given the like 1, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, the answer is only 3 and 4. The 52nd one is wrong and the first one is wrong. Clear? The next one. The 7th Constitutional Amendment Act 1956 and the States Reorganization Act 1956 were enacted based on the recommendations of the which of the following committees? States Reorganization Act okay. Next, consider the following statements regarding the amendment procedure of the Constitution of India. A constitutional amendment bill must be introduced only in the Lok Sabha. Only bill that should be introduced only in the Lok Sabha is okay. The original constitution provided for mandatory assent by the president to a constitutional amendment bill. Under which amendment that it was provided? Clear? Others you want me to show? Wait a minute. Will come under which? Wait, I'll show. Finally, I'll show. Okay. See, this original constitution doesn't provide that mandatory obligation on president to give the assent in case of the constitutional amendment bill. It was added later that the president must sign it or mandated him to sign it. Okay. So in this, the original constitution means the day on 26th January 1950, that provision was not there in the constitution. Okay. Now the 31st question. This one, 104, 105. Even I சொல்லிட்டேன். 99th all the constitutional amendments, please know about it. So which one? Third one is right. Okay, then 104th, what will come? Huh? Okay, states can identify. Okay, now 104. Abolition of Anglo-Indian and extending the reservation or another? Clear? Okay. Now the 32nd question. Consider the following. Federalism, balance between fundamental rights and directive principles, separation of power between the legislature, the executive and the judiciary, and fourth one, the supremacy of the parliament. How many of the above are part of the basic structure of the Constitution of India? All four? All four, yeah, now? Okay. Only three? Ceding. Which one is wrong? Yes. Why that is wrong? See, the answer is only three. Because supremacy of parliament is not the basic structure. If that is kept as the basic structure, then the parliament can amend anything that it wants. Correct? See, even it can amend that basic structure itself. That will be guaranteed if that comes under the basic structure. Clear? So the fourth point, the supremacy of parliament is not the basic structure of the constitution. Then the 33rd question. With reference to 44th Amendment Act 1978, consider the following statements. It provided that the state should strive to minimize the inequalities in income. It provided for the participation of workers in the management of industry. It required the state to provide free legal aid to the poor, which was included in 44th Amendment Act. Okay, participation of workers in the management of industry was added in. It required the state to provide free legal aid. 42. 40? Okay, 42. So the second and the third statement was included in the both were included in the Constitution under 42nd Constitutional Amendment, whereas the first statement was included under 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. Then consider the following objectives: prohibition of alcohol, modernization of animal husbandry, ensuring gender pay parity, protection of biodiversity. How many of the above can be achieved through the successful implementation of the directive principles of state policy under the Constitution of India? All the things. இதுல என்ன ஆம்பிகுவஸா இருக்குன்னு என்கிட்ட வரும்போது சொன்னீங்க எல்லாரும். கீழேயே வந்து சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. இல்ல நீங்க இல்ல மத்தவங்க சொன்னாங்க. Okay. Next, the 34th question. Which of the following Supreme Court cases are related to disputes or conflicts between fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy? Okay, IR file case. Will that include? What is this case about? ஒண்ணுமே எனக்கு புரியல நீங்க வந்து எல்லாம் judicial review, correct? Judicial review, keep it simple. Then Golaknath case with respect to fundamental rights and DPSP. Then Menaka Gandhi case. It is related to due process of law. In that case only, the first time it was recognized the due process of law should be followed. Okay, then Minerva Mill case, in that only they told that fundamental rights and DPSP are the wheels of the same chariot, where the balance should be maintained between both the fundamental rights and DPSP. So the answer is 171. So the answer is 2 and 4. Clear? That is Golaknath and Minerva Mill's case. Next, the 36th question. The directive principles of state policy have been useful to India because they are intended to fill in the vacuum in part 3 by providing for social and economic rights. Yes? Yes or no? No. Why? Why no? புரியல எனக்கு. See, because fundamental rights talks only about the political rights and there has been a vacuum of both social and economic rights. We didn't have the resources, so it is kept in DPSP. So that vacuum is filled by the DPSP, especially for social and economic rights. Avladam. Don't think too much at all. Okay. Next, the second one, they help folks in exercising judicial review. Simple read padunga. Yes. Even when checking the constitutional validity, they will be using that. Okay. Next. They enable the opposition to exercise influence and control over the operations of the government. Control and operations over the government. So listen, now if there is a ruling party, now they've been in power for like 5 years or like 10 years, if it is so. Now the opposition will ask the question, you have been in power for these many days, what have you done for the social benefits of the people? And it is being guaranteed under this constitution, DPSP it is given, have you provided that? The opposition can ask yes or no, and they exercise control by having this DPSP. They enable, yes, they enable them. That then how come we came up with this right to education? Then why under certain things we ask about this we are like pay parity is being brought into. We have these labor codes, cooperation ellame varudhu illaya. Why are you bringing all these things? Cooperative societies, all these things. Why are we bringing them? All these are like, since it has been guaranteed and it has been given in the DPSP, though it is not enforceable or justifiable, we try to achieve them. And the opposition can make the ruling government answerable to those things. So it is the effective ways in which they keep a check on the ruling government. Clear? See, simpler read panunga pannalam thane. Even question hour is what, like having a check on them. Having a check on them, what they are doing, why they are doing, what happened, this happened like this, then why are you not doing any steps to prevent such things from happening? They are asking questions like the same way they can use DPSP also to question. Next, the 37th one. Consider the following statements regarding the 9th schedule of the Indian Constitution. It was added to the Constitution by the Constitutional Amendment Act, First Amendment Act 1951. Yes. The second one, the inclusion of any law in the schedule requires an amendment under Article 368 with a special majority of Parliament. Okay, the third one, the Supreme Court brought in under the purview of judicial review in the Kikoto-Colahan case. Kikoto-Colahan case is related to which one? Anti-defection. 52nd Amendment. Okay. And if they wanted to keep any law under the 9th schedule, a constitutional amendment is required. Just like that, they can't go and keep any laws. Okay. Which of the following articles of the directive principles of the state policy deals with the separation of the judiciary from the executive? In Article 50. Article 44, everyone knows. UCC. Okay. By which of the following amendment acts the age of voting rights was changed from 21 years to 18 years? See, these things are very basic, which you must be knowing. And also this year, like 2024 election has been there. So it becomes more important, just knowing what are the things. Then 40th question, consider the following statements. The power to initiate an amendment to the constitution lies only with the center. Yes, only the central government can do that. Next, the power to amend the provisions concerned with the federal structure lies with the center and the states, and the states only have advisory role. When it is with respect to federal provisions being amended, what role does the state play? We need half of the state's ratification. And that ratification is done by which majority? Simple majority. Okay. The 41st question. So the answer for that is only A, because a constitutional amendment can be initiated only from the center. Next, 41. Which of the following constitution amendment acts was primarily enacted to protect laws related to agrarian and land reforms from judicial review? That is the first constitutional amendment act which was there to ensure that zamindari rights, that from zamindari all these things, land reforms have been kept under this one. Okay, that is the first constitutional amendment act. Then what is about this 44th constitutional amendment act? Okay, what is specific with 9th constitutional amendment act? Berubari Union case. Then 26th constitutional amendment act? Privy Purse. 26th Constitutional Amendment Act is related to abolish the private purposes and privileges of the former rulers of princely states. The other one is 9th one, right? It facilitated the Berubari Union and it is also known as Nehru-Noor Agreement. And the other one being which one? 9th one and the other one? 44. Okay, there are many things with respect to that. And that is specifically 44th and emergency itself, there are many things. Okay. Then this one, 43rd. Consider the following constitutional amendment acts. How many of the above constitutional amendment acts provide for ceding or exchange of territories with neighboring countries of India? Which one? 9th Constitutional Amendment Act and 100th Constitutional Amendment Act. Just now we saw the 9th one was related to Berubari Union case, where the Berubari was actually the exchange happened between India and Pakistan, and whereas this 100th Constitutional Amendment Act is regarding the transfer of these enclaves between India and Bangladesh. Okay, so what is the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act related to? I don't know whether. No, sorry, I don't have that. Sikkim. Sikkim is with respect to 36, 35 and 36. Both will come. See, 35 terminated the protectorate status of Sikkim, and in 36th Constitutional Amendment Act made Sikkim a full-fledged state of the Indian Union. Okay, 35 and 36, that is what is related to Sikkim. Okay, then 44th question. The directive principles of state policy laid down in Part 4 of the Constitution cannot in any way override or abridge the fundamental rights guaranteed by Part 3. On the other hand, they have to conform to and run as subsidiaries to the fundamental rights laid down in Part 3. But the fundamental rights could be amended by the Parliament by enacting constitutional amendment acts. In which of the following cases did the Supreme Court hold this opinion? See, in this it says that the Constitution cannot can any way override or abridge the fundamental rights guaranteed in Part 3. புரியுதா அந்த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் என்னன்னு? புரியவே இல்லையா? See, what says is DPSP cannot be like more priority than fundamental rights. Whatever it is, DPSP is subsidiary to the fundamental rights. Likewise, in which case it was told. Another question. Override யோசிக்காத. Simpler read பண்ணாலே புரிய போகுது. It cannot override or abridge the fundamental rights. Which means, and it is subsidiary to the fundamental rights. So which one is that? Is DPSP is subsidiary to fundamental rights, and it cannot override fundamental rights. Being in the case, in Champakam Dorairajan case, okay, because in Keshavananda Bharati case it doesn't happen. In Minerval Mill case, they said that they both are equal. Then in Golaknath case, what happened? Should not be up. In okay, in Golaknath case, it is told that fundamental rights are not, what did they say? Immutable, non-changeable. It was told in Golaknath case. See, in that case, what happened is, in the previous case, the judgment given by the Supreme Court gave the Parliament the power to amend all parts of the Constitution. Whereas in this Golaknath case, they told that the Parliament do not have power to curtail the fundamental rights. That was given in this Golaknath case. Okay. Next. Which of the following constitutional amendments fall outside the scope of Article 368? Fall outside the scope of Article 368. No? One only. One only input avuna koi thukanga. Okay, and two varadu. I thought that you might be thinking like simultaneous election if pass pannirukanga, which is respect to Parliament and state legislature. If anyone thought like that, okay. Then what are the other reasons? Okay, that is one. Any other reason why that second statement is right? Yeah, the second statement right in a potavanga mattum enakku answer pannunga. Why did you put that? See, they are asking outside the scope of Article 368, and elections of the president falls in the scope of Article 368. Now, elections to Parliament and state legislature. See, this time this happened, right? This simultaneous election bill they have given, right? And it is related to why that is bringing with Constitutional Amendment Act. Duration of the House or article, the article is actually 1 second. I'll tell you. See, the article is it wanted to amend Article 83, which talks about the duration of Houses of Parliament, and Article 172, which talks about the duration of state legislatures, and Article 327, power of Parliament to make provisions with respect to elections to legislatures. In the moon article change from the and the simultaneous election bill, which now we have, and refer to joint parliamentary committee area, in the moon is a change from the it is not with respect to election to state legislatures or parliament, and that doesn't fall under Article 368. One more thing is Article 368 provisions. The first one is election to the President of India. Will that come? Yes. Then extent of the executive power of the union and state government. And the article Article 368. Okay. Then union judiciary, then high courts, then distribution of legislative powers between the union and the states, and any of the list mentioned in 7th schedule, and representation of states in the parliament. All these things only will come under Article 368. Okay. And Article 368 itself also comes and falls under the scope of Article 368. Just go and read about the Constitutional Amendment Act and Article 368 Parliament. Okay. You will get a clarity. Then the 46th one. The directive principles of state policy are significant and useful because 46th one. Because they serve as a common political manifesto. Yes, which is to be given. Common political means normal manifesto, which enshrines upon that these things should be done in any matter or in any way. We have to do these things to the people. That is what it is. Next, they facilitate stability and continuity in domestic and foreign policies. How? Whether DPSP talk about international peace and security? The last one in the DPSP, and then with respect to international peace and security, then this will be working out. Okay. Now, third one, they act as an instrument of instructions to all authorities in the Indian Union. First ஒரு questionல பார்த்தோம்ல only upon legislations அது கிடையாது. It is about legislators, executives and administrative authorities. That is what it is. Okay, it acts as an instrument of instructions. So the answer is 1, 2 and 3. இதுக்கு வேற இத தவிர வேற ஆப்ஷன் யாராவது போடுறீங்களா? Okay, common political manifesto. What is a manifesto? Just tell me what is the manifesto. When any election is going to happen in any time soon, then the political parties will do that. If I come to power, I will do all these things. These are the schemes I'll do. I'll ensure this to be happen. That is what is political. That is what is manifesto. This is a common political manifesto, means this is a common thing which has to be done any party if they come to become a ruling government. ஒரு கவர்மெண்டா எந்த பார்ட்டி ஃபார்ம் ஆனாலுமே they must ensure DPSP ல கொடுத்திருக்க அந்த social and economic rights அச்சீவ் பண்றதுக்கு they should strive for. It is a kind of a common political manifesto. Simple. புரிஞ்சுதா? அப்படிதானே அது இருக்கு. When DPSP was given and when it was placed in the constitution, what was the aim? Since we don't have resources right now, but we must be working towards achieving that. Whenever we get that required resources, we must provide those things to the people. Correct? So it is a common political manifesto. Sollama? Doubt illa. Okay. Then the 47th question. The directive principles of state policy are enumerated in part 4 of the Constitution from Article 36 to 51. In this regard, the framers of the Constitution derived inspiration from which of the following? The Irish Constitution, the instrument of instructions enumerated in the Government of India 1935, Gandhian ideology, freedom struggle of India. எது போடல? Freedom struggle என்னன்னா சொன்னாங்க? இல்ல freedom struggle my only question is there are like from 36 to article 51 there are many things, right? Freedom struggle ஒண்ணு கூடவா சொல்லல? இல்ல யாராவது ஒருத்தங்க எங்கயாவது பேசிருப்பாங்க தானே? Education was it not talked about in freedom struggle? Was education talked or not in freedom struggle? Cottage industries, was it talked or not? Then what? எதுக்கு அப்படி அந்த லைன் அப்படி இருக்கணுமா உங்களுக்கு? freedom struggle இந்த இது நாங்க பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்ட்டு. Then why do we have like Gandhian ideology இருந்தாலே அது freedom struggle தானே? Yes or no? Gandhi was in freedom struggle. You don't have doubt about that. If you are telling Gandhian ideology is there, then why freedom struggle was not there? யாரெல்லாம் freedom struggle அது கிடையாதுன்னு நினைச்சது? Only 3 போட்டது 1 2 1 2 3. மத்தவங்க எல்லாரும் freedom struggle include பண்ணிட்டீங்க. Okay? See, this is a common logic which you must think upon. Okay? Next, 48th question. Since independence, many laws have been enacted by the state to give effect to the various directive principles under Part 4 of the Constitution. In this context, consider the following statements. The Wildlife Preservation Act 1972 and the Forest Conservation Act 1980 enactments give effect to Article 50. Khadi and Village Industries Board gives effect to Article 43. 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act gives effect to Article 40. Article 50 என்ன? Separation of judiciary from executive. Whether WPA Act and FCA Act was done to that? No, it is to protect the environment. So that is wrong. So you can remove it. And then if you remove it, it is 2 and 3. Khadi and Village. Article 43 is about? Clear? So Article 40. And 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act is related to Panchayat. Then which of the following can be traced explicitly from both fundamental rights and the directive principles of state policy under the Constitution of India? traced explicitly from both fundamental rights and DPSP. Provision of education, is it there? Provision of cooperatives, it is there, right? It is there. And provision of safeguards of wildlife, அதுதான் வந்து explicit கொடுக்கல. But provision of cooperatives are there in both fundamental rights as well as in DPSP. Okay? See, these things don't even think of losing it. And the Gandhian ideology and freedom struggle also, right? That is a very basic question. If you are losing that, you are thinking too much. Then the 50th one. Which of the following provisions are covered under Article 39 of Directive Principles of State Policy? Under Article 39, the equitable distribution of material resources of the community for the common good. Opportunities for healthy development of children. To take steps to secure the participation of workers in the management of industries. That comes under which act? Participation of workers in management of industries comes under 43A. And 39, they talk about 39, right? 39 is kind of big. Just know what are the details given in 39 alone separately. One and two. Because the elections of the president that falls within the scope of the Article 368, whereas the other two doesn't fall within the scope. Okay. So with respect to this Article 39, these are the things given under that. Okay. And specifically this one, the last one. For the participation of workers in the management of industries comes under Article 43A. Okay. So that doesn't come. One second, I'll come. 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, here. See, Article 368, this was it out, right? So, what are the articles? Article 54, 55, Article 73, Article 162, 241, 279A. What is 279A? Goods and services tax. That also falls within the scope of Article 368. Then Chapter 4, Part 5. See, if you see this, it is more than sufficient. And the representation of states in parliament and the provisions of this article itself, I'm just showing you these are the things that is possible only with Article 368, which requires and which falls within the scope. In this, the elections of state legislature and parliament is not, they won't come under this article. Okay? Clear? It is only these things. The amendment shall also require to be ratified by the legislatures of not less than 1/2 of the states by resolutions to that. You not sure? Anything else? Okay. And See, this is what it is. And the constitutional amendment can be done by means of addition, variation, or repeal. Just அப்படியே அந்த மூணு இதை எடுத்து அதுல போட்டிருந்தாங்க. Okay. And this one, what I was talking about, which I'll show you again. So it shall be presented to the president, who shall give his assent to the bill, and thereupon the constitution shall stand amended. So it is under fourth one, which is, it comes under 24th amendment. Clear? See, the benefit of seeing the constitution as such is, எப்போ எந்த amendment நடந்ததுன்னு clear-ஆ you can find it out. And which part of it அப்படின்றது முதற்கொண்டு தெரியும். Okay, this is why I'm asking you to look into the bar constitution. Once you finish DPSP, go to the bar constitution. நீங்க உங்க polity bookலயோ இல்ல NCERT-லயோ if you have studied it once or twice, then have it, because you will get a clear idea and you will be able to understand also. Then why are you just leaving it out? Okay, am I showing anything in the answers? Only from this I'm showing you, and all the answers are from this constitution only. That is the benefit of it. Okay, so this for verification பண்ணனும்னா கூட, if you are doing in this, it is the most legitimate source. It is not from any other material or magazines that I'm showing. Clear? Okay, then that's for the day. Thank you so much. Bye bye.